It's your man Jay Graves, and welcome to the Jay Graves Report College Football Weekly Preview, Week 13. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Like I always say, college football is the greatest game on the planet. Why? Because of weekends like this. Let me tell you, college football is built on pageantry and tradition. Most of the traditions in college football have been going on for 120 years. Some games have been played just that long. This weekend is all rivalry game. Hey, boys kill me when they always talk about the NFL rivalry game. Let me tell you, bruh, there's no such thing as a rivalry game in the NFL. The Bears versus the Packers is not a rivalry game, bruh. Why? Because it's only a rivalry game for the fans. The players don't care. When you break it down like this, a player that's playing for the Green Bay Packers will play for the Chicago Bears if the money is right. you saw what, I mean, boys leave all the time. A boy playing for Dallas Cowboys or go and play for the Washington Redskins if the money is right. But you will never see a boy leave Texas and go to Oklahoma. You will never see a cat leave Alabama and go to Auburn. You won't see a boy leave Florida State and go to Florida. You won't see a boy leave Ohio State and go to Michigan. It ain't going to happen, bruh, because the lines have been drawn in the sand from when they were little kids. A rivalry game is just that. I hate the other team, and I can't play for them. Let's move on to the 5 biggest ball games. Let's talk about the rivalries right now. First ball game, the game. Number 19, Michigan, goes to Ohio State, goes to the Columbus and plays in the Horseshoe. Now, this is a big ball game simply because it's the game. Secondly, Ohio State is on probation. Boys can't play for the national championship, can't play for the Big Ten championship, can't go to a bowl game. So this is their bowl game, Big Ten championship, and their national championship all rolled into one because they're 11-0. Now, what blows me away is the AP is trying to now put out in the wind, in the air, that if Ohio State wins this ball game, they could win the AP national championship. How dull is that? How stupid is that? You know, it's just as stupid as when in 2003 they got mad and took the ball and ran and jumped out of the BCS because Oklahoma and LSU played for the national championship and they wanted USC to win the national championship. USC wasn't even in the doggone national championship game. I was there. I didn't see USC play in the game. And then the next morning, you got USC claim the national championship of the AP. Come on, bro. Ohio State wins this ball game hands down simply because it's too much on the line for Ohio State and it's the rivalry game against the team up north. Let's keep it real all the way 100. I love Michigan and my boys have at Michigan, but it ain't going to happen this year, bro. Let's move on to the south. Georgia Tech goes to Georgia and plays between the hedges in Athens. Old Ugga is waiting on them. Now, this is a ball game that Mark Rich, Georgia will always show up and become Mark Rich, Georgia. Not this year, bruh. Georgia Tech's defense is dull. They 6-5, can't stop nobody, so Georgia wins this ball game. I will say this. Georgia, in my opinion, should be the number 2 team that's ranked this year in the BCS right now this week, simply because they probably got the best defense in the country. Secondly, they played probably the toughest schedule in the SEC and in the country, and they've only got 1 loss. Alabama, as much as I love Alabama and like them because I think that Nick Saban is a genius, he is a mad scientist, but they played a dull schedule, and they got soundly beat by Texas A&M if we're going to keep it real all the way 100. Now, but most of the game, they were getting beat by 20 points. It wasn't even close. I don't care what the final score was. It wasn't even close. They got soundly beat by Johnny Football and company. Now, let's move on to the Pac-12. Number 5, Oregon, goes to Corvallis and plays number 15, Oregon State, in the Civil War. Let's keep it real or all the way 100, whichever comes first. Oregon fell asleep at the wheel last weekend, only put up 14 points. They averaged 54 points a game. So they're going to put this boy in overdrive this weekend and put up 60. They're going to hang half 100 or more on Oregon State and go to the crib. Oregon lost last weekend after putting up 23 straight games of 30 points or more, and they got their 13-game winning streak snapped. So these boys going to come in there playing Atomic Dog, and the Parliament Funkadelic is going to walk this weekend. Now, let's move on to the next ball game. Number 4, Florida, goes to Florida State, plays in Doak Campbell. Chief Osceola and Renegade will put the sword in the middle of the field, put the spear in the middle of the field, and come out of there with a win. Why? Because, like I always keep saying, the dumb media always put the fix in, want to push boys up to the top that shouldn't be at the top. Florida right now is the number 4 team in the country. I can't understand it. Yeah, they only got 1 loss, but if you've been watching them the last few weeks, they've been dubbed. November 7th, they barely got out alive playing against Missouri, beat them 7-0. Then, 2 weeks later, they almost lose to Louisiana Lafayette in the swamp. 8 seconds left in the game, they block a punt, run it back for a touchdown. If you the number 4 team in the country, bruh, there's no way in the world Louisiana Lafayette should still been in the ball game with 8 seconds left. Now, let's move on because E.J. Manuel and company is going to shred that defensive secondary because Florida, boys don't know this, Florida's got one of the worst defensive secondaries in the country. They ranked 118th out of 120th. I feel sorry for the Florida Gators this weekend, bruh. The reality is going to come in because let's keep it real. E.J. Manuel and company fell asleep at the wheel in Raleigh and lost to North Carolina State, and everybody forgot about them. But they still hanging around the chicken coop, and they going to put that thing on Florida this weekend. Now, let's move on to the last ball game. Number 1, Notre Dame goes to... It made me sick just even say Notre Dame was number 1, bruh. I mean, I'm out of... Got to get my composure back, bruh. Number 1, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is number 1. I got to say it just to get my mind right. Goes out to USC and plays USC without Matt Barkley. Notre Dame, the rest of the world is counting on you to win this ball game and show up in the national championship. Don't be dull this weekend. Win that ball game because we don't need 4 or 5 teams with 1 loss and everybody scrambling, putting the teams that shouldn't be in the game in the game. Holla at your man. It's your man Jay Graves from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport and holla at your boy.